Hello, welcome back. We're here for another Contemplative Living. We try to do a podcast every Sunday, and we're here most Sundays. Once in a while, we have, life comes into play, and we just can't do a recording. But those of you that are live, we welcome you to interact on the chat. Those that are watching, the replay on YouTube or listening to one of the many recordings on audio, feel free to reach out. Tell us what you think. So today, we're going to talk about how imperfection doesn't limit us. And Spirit once said to me, we are imperfect, we're limited, we're vulnerable, and we're loved by the universe. And that's kind of the theme that we're going to talk about today, that, we are limited. We're fallible human beings, but we are loved by the universe. And with that, it doesn't limit us. We can move forward. And, we should know, anybody who listens to this podcast, I mess up all the time. I am definitely fallible, but we go through, we keep moving forward. So let's get to it.
Welcome. Now creating a life of peace. This is Contemplative Living with David Bennett. Contemplations and reflections to help with spiritual living. This podcast is made possible by dharmatalks.com.
All right, so where do we start with this conversation? Well, I'd like to start with my fascination, that I'm fascinated by the ideal of unconditional love and knowing that it's unattainable in this life. I had a near-death experience. Those of you that have been following the podcast have heard it probably 100 times. But in that profound spiritual experience, I experienced unconditional love. And so coming back to life, I was searching for it. And many experiencers that I've talked to over the years have gone through this same journey of trying to bring that unconditional love into life. And we have flashes of it. We can't really live there because we have this physical reality. We can't live in that pure, unconditional love that holds the universe together. But we can reflect it, and we can show and feel moments of it and bring that into our life in that way. So I've been on this journey for quite a while, trying to be more loving, be more at peace. But I realize that, we are limited. We are fallible. So this is kind of the root to what this discussion is really going to be about today. So any attempt at self-perfection is simply a story that we tell ourselves. It's we weave these narratives thread by thread, believing that if we can just attain flawlessness, our lives will be complete. But, what if perception is nothing more than an illusion? We cannot be perfect. We're not saints. So what if the pursuit of perfection is what actually limits us? Being obsessed about one particular thing within our life that we want to be perfect at, that obsession can actually limit us. Because we live in a world where there's tons of obsession with flawless appearance, impeccable achievements. And it's easy to fall into the trap to strive for those unattainable standards. We believe many times that, we can be that shining star, but we become prisoners of our own expectations when we when we devote our entire energy toward that. So, and many times when we fall or we falter, we constantly berate ourselves for not measuring up. Yet, our true growth and fulfillment lie in embracing our imperfections. Imperfections are not really weakness, but rather badges of authority. They remind us that life is messy, that life is unpredictable, and we're looking for ways to be a better human. We can be the positive person that we are. So if we're looking for ways to be a better human, then how do we do that? Do we introduce some discipline in our life to help us to follow that path, that ideal that we've established for ourselves of being a better person? I believe, and I've seen this in my own journey, that many times when I manage self-care first, that it helps create that positive energy within myself so that I can then bring that into my interactions, bring that into everything that I do. So a little bit of self-care is probably the first step in becoming a better human. Eating right, making sure we get enough sleep, doing the basics, taking care of ourselves so that we can generate enough positive energy and we can receive it from the universe so that we can then infuse it into our everyday interactions. And I am an imperfect, limited, and vulnerable being who is loved by the universe. That's that same message that Spirit shared with me, that we're loved by the universe. I have a friend, Bill, who's had a heart attack and died, and was resuscitated and came back. And when he came back, his message from the other side was, "We are loved." And I experienced that as well. We are loved. We don't realize how much love is the founding element within the universe. It holds everything together. But we are so caught up in our, circumstances and what's going on, all the chaos in the world, that we get tied up in the circumstances and it lowers our level of awareness. But when we can step back, take a breath, meditate, contemplate, and raise our awareness, we can see that love is everywhere. And love is in a lot of the fantastic interactions that we do for one another every day. So, yes, we're imperfect. We're vulnerable. But we have love from the universe backing us up. We just need to recognize it and look for it and become a part of it. So I find awakening to our imperfections are strangely comforting. It's in acknowledging our imperfections that we tap into new, raw essence of our being human. Our flaws define us just as much as our strengths do. They shape our journey. They guide us through obstacles and help us to discover the hidden depths within ourselves, because embracing imperfections means accepting that life isn't always picture perfect. It's messy, it's chaotic, and that sometimes can bring us to a better understanding of the beauty in life, because there is beauty within our own vulnerability. Exposing those rough edges within us allows for growth and for connection with others who are navigating their own personal battles. We accept that, everyone has flaws. And when we do, empathy flourishes, fostering a sense of unity rather than judgment. Unity is a strength that we can develop and we can bring, but we need to turn away from judgment or comparison, because that's a weakness. That's a weakness that we tend to fall into as a trap many times. So, our imperfections can be comforting. It's part of who we are sometimes. And as we courageously share our visions, we're given support from the universe, and sometimes by unexpected sources. Many times, it's happened so many times, I can't even count, but I've come to look for it, that many times when I have a focus of working on my ideal, of where I want to go, what I want to be, who I want to be, that I'll have someone cross my path and share some profound seed of wisdom that is exactly what I need. That's the universe backing us up. That's that support that, it comes from all different ways. Sometimes, maybe we'll hear a song that inspires us in that moment to do something great for ourselves, or with a project that we're working on. So we have to be aware. We have to rise elevate our awareness to a point that we're observing this. As observers, we have clearer vision because we're not allowing ourselves to get pulled away with the circumstances that, are constantly tugging at us all day long. So to be human is to be fallible, imperfect, limited, and remarkable when we rise to extraordinary acts of generosity, compassion, and understanding. We stumble. Yes, we do. We stumble, we falter, and occasionally we fall flat on our face. But in those flaws lie inescapable beauty that defines us as truly remarkable beings. The way we interact, the way we respond. Our limitations may confine us at times, but they are also the catalyst for some of our most extraordinary acts. Like when empathy blossoms, it enables us to reach out and touch the lives of others in profound ways. That's what's remarkable. The very essence of generosity can only be fully understood by those who felt the warm radiance of it. And compassion becomes our guiding light, especially when we're faced with adversity. When we encounter someone whose pain mirrors our own, or we see a world that's crying out for healing, especially now. And it drives us to extend a hand without hesitation or without expectation. That's just as important. So understanding opens doors for unity, a bridge built upon acceptance and respect for each other. We're all on unique journeys. And once we develop understanding and embracing each other's differences, then we unlock endless possibilities for growth and transformation, both individually and collectively. We can work together. We can help each other. We all have limitations, but when we reach out, and help one another, we can overcome those limitations. We can move forward. We aren't imperfect, but it doesn't limit us. That's the thing we need to recognize, that yes, we can, but many times it's going to require elevating our awareness, and so that we can see clearly, and so that we can help each other on these journeys we call life. I hope that you have a blessed week and that you find your way through life even with the limitations, and that you can clearly see how beautiful and how loved we really are. Namaste.
Thank you for listening today to Contemplative Living with David Bennett. Please be sure to subscribe, listen, and share with your friends wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and the Podbean app. You can find the links to these on David's website, dharmatalks.com, on the Contemplative Living page. Have a blessed week.